now you guys can
talk.
Yeah.
About what? I lost my train of thought.
Was that the open?
Yeah. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of 9 to 5 Nerds with Robert Swathwood, Corey Urkel,
Hey.
our producer Katrina Swathwood.
Hello.
And our guest this week is Brian Pasafume.
This mic is fancy. Ow.
Yeah, don't throw things around their equipment, please.
Yeah.
I will kill you.
Yeah.
You say "ow" to that?
Well, I don't know. Frightened me.
I know last week.
No, I should have been "ow."
I know they're throwing little Nerf balls around. I know last week Corey was a little quiet. We are, bear with us, we're still figuring out this new equipment, and I think we're close. I think we're really close. So, bear with us a little bit. Right, Katrina?
Yes.
Katrina's frustrated.
Next time, can you do the countdown on your fingers? Can you go like 3?
I only have
2,
5, so
1,
it's a little hard.
Go. Just start at 3.
You don't say the 2 and the 1. You go 3.
And then you do the circle.
Oh.
Since we're counting down from 20, we shouldn't really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of short there.
Yeah. Well, you do the
flashing.
No, you count it down and then you count back up.
I can do sign language.
And then you count down again. I can't.
You can just start at 5. I thought it was cool.
I can't do the. No, I have a little game for you guys with this week's episode. But before we get to the game, we have to talk a little bit about E3 because E3 was this last week, and as typically as I don't pay close attention other than the games that I want to watch. I did watch the entire Bethesda.
You actually watched the
presentation.
He did.
I watched the whole thing live.
Watched Todd Howard walk around, make jokes, and
yeah. I watched Bethesda, and that was it. And then I watched some trailers on stuff that I wanted to see. I saw the Spider-Man trailer.
Which one? I saw 2 things. That's why I asked.
I saw the one where he was fighting Vulture, Scorpion
on the raft.
Yeah. Okay. No, in the prison.
The raft.
Was it a raft?
Yeah.
I think they just called it the raft.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Unless raft is an acronym.
No, it's a superhero prison. I wonder if that's a Spider-Man thing or is that just a Marvel thing?
I don't know. I know that it looked a lot like Arkham.
Okay, in the beginning, I'm 85% sure one of the first lines out of Spider-Man was something about the raft.
Okay. But no, I watched that. Was there a Last of Us? I didn't watch the trailer. I only watched the gameplay.
Was it the one where they're dancing?
I didn't see that part.
What?
I saw her crawling through the bushes and
under the van.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was a gameplay trailer. So yes.
Okay, but I didn't see the part of them kissing. I saw pictures of it and stuff.
Do you know where it started? Where you started watching that?
She was in the bushes and she was crawling. I watched 8 minutes.
She was
7.5 minutes.
Okay.
8 minutes.
Because the beginning, it's basically 4 minutes at a dance party, and some girl whispers in her ear like, She says like, I'm basically like girl on girl like hitting on each other. Like, I'm not a threat to these other guys, and she's like, you really are. You're dangerous. And they know it, or something like that. And then it cuts to her gameplay, where she's immediately stabbing somebody in the neck, killing him, and it ends with.
But I didn't see that part, so I wonder if I had clicked on just the gameplay.
And by the end of the trailer, it cuts back to that line, like cut back to the dancing scene, and the lines repeated.
Then I must have just watched the gameplay trailer. Yeah. I didn't watch that portion.
It was kind of a cool bookend because she's trying to live a normal life in some aspect, but out in the wild, man.
I love when you're excited about something that's only showed like trailers, and then you see gameplay, and you're like,
yeah,
you couldn't crawl under cars in the first one.
Mm-mm.
There's got to be a word for it's gameplay, but it's like it's in engine, but it's also like the peak of like if you watch any Ubisoft thing, a lot of it might be in engine, but so cleaned up and so nice.
It's like watching a 4K movie at Best Buy because everything's on on point. Where once you get it home, and that might not be running the same. It's
kind of I watch everything that is unless it's actually somebody playing it on stage, which you can kind of tell, as it's not going to be exactly like that. But if I compare it to the first time they showed off Last of Us, the first game, it was just playing the guitar. It was 90% to 95% accurate to what the game was. There's a couple things about the AI that didn't match up exactly. It wasn't as smart as the trailer, but basically most things were there. So if this one is 90 to 95%. What you saw,
and the fact that she would have gotten her ass kicked.
Yeah, she was getting fucked up.
Yeah, but I mean, she got shot twice in that by a shotgun.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
but if that's actual gameplay, that you get shot all the time and walk it off. Well, not, but maybe.
So you're all right calling out movie tropes, but not video game ones.
I was talking to somebody the other day about Like, that's the worst thing about Uncharted is the trope that he is in a video game and he's allowed to murder 18,000 people and there's not a wince or even like a hint of emotional damage to him. Like, it's just the fact that he has to be in a video game where that has to be in it that makes it less believable.
Are you playing Harry Potter?
I'm finishing some things. What's wrong
Oh my
with that?
god. Have you, when it comes to Fallout 76, have you read all the negative comments and stuff?
No, I don't read comments.
People are fucking freaking out. There's a hashtag that's not my Fallout, and people are like, I'm not playing.
Hashtag not my battlefield by some misogynistic assholes. You see
What?
that?
No.
So Battlefield 5 got like shown off a few weeks ago, and I think it's either you can play as a woman or a woman is on the cover. And there are just loads of comments on the internet and Twitter about like this isn't historically accurate and bullshit.
People just being fucking idiots.
Yeah, they're being assholes, and it's very frustrating.
Okay.
Yeah, this is people are taking it like they don't realize this isn't Fallout 5. This is in between Fallout 4 and the next installment of Fallout.
Yeah.
This is a different type of
the
game.
The Resident Evil outbreak of
and people are fucking freaking out. They're like, yeah, okay, if you think about it this way, you wouldn't have got another Fallout until Fallout 5.
Do you think there's the same people who are mad at Elder Scrolls, whatever the online one's called? Is it Morrowind?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're just as mad that not my Elder Scrolls.
Yeah,
don't fucking play it.
Legitimately.
And I can tell you, as soon as they announced it, I went on to BestBuy.com and bought the Power Armor Edition.
I'm not going to buy it.
I wasn't going to buy it.
Dude, I texted him the second that happened. I said, "You're going to wear that fucking helmet."
Yeah, I'm going to wear
if
the
it's
helmet.
going to fit his fucking head.
To be honest, you were sold as soon as the title or like
Yeah,
the teaser
absolutely.
came out.
But
So
I was talking.
you weren't a hard sell target.
No, and I was talking myself out of buying the deluxe edition because I'm like, it's $200.
And I told him, I was like, I don't want to hear you bitching and crying in a couple of weeks that you can't find anywhere and you didn't buy it.
It is already sold out everywhere. So, I mean, I'm going to have a Pip-Boy and a Power Armor helmet. So,
That you won't wear. That'll sit in the closet.
Yep, that's why I wasn't going to buy it. And you're the one that talked me into fucking buying it.
Even in 5 months, if you decide for some reason you don't want it, you can just cancel the order and get the base.
Or he can sell it.
Or you can sell it.
You have
more options if
the
you buy it
Pip-Boy
now.
version of Fallout 4 was selling for like $500 online. So it was a lot of money. But no, I have that coming. So
As a Fallout fan, do you feel like you lose anything?
no.
I mean, the biggest one I seem you lose VATS, which is a cruel ass system.
But I mean, once you think about it, it wouldn't work in multiplayer.
No, not remotely.
You'd be pissed if you slowed down. You'd be like, "What the
Do you
fuck
think
is
it's going
this?"
to be way less tactical in all aspects? It's got to be more run and gun. If you're playing with online players, they ain't going to slow down.
Well, it's still RPG. I mean,
it's probably be a lighter.
we don't know those things yet. We just don't.
It would be weird for. I mean, it would be probably as heavy as RPG as like the Borderlands or the.
We really don't know because it hasn't been done yet. And I mean, until we get more information on it, we're not gonna. It only comes out in November. It's not that far away.
Did you like some of the new monsters?
Yeah, they looked really cool, like that flying thing.
That was interesting.
I thought that it was cool. That
Sorry, go ahead.
they're playing off the like folklore of that area.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Do you think is it because it's a localized monster that it's the first game in the Fallout series timeline wise because they're the first ones out of the vault? But if those monsters haven't appeared in any other games, is that kind of reverse?
They could have just died out by then.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it that way.
I don't know where all the other games take place. Oh, one, obviously, California, Nevada.
Yeah.
Washington, D.C., huh?
I think people are being a little bit too judgmental on something that we don't know enough about yet. It could still have a full array of quests like any other Fallout game, but you just get to do it in multiplayer. I mean, I liked Fallout because I can still pick it up and play for 20 minutes and shut it down. This is going to change that a little bit.
It might change a couple. Do you think you'll have what's the word? What do they call the different group? Different factions in the game?
Probably
Who will hate you if you do one thing, and if so, are other players gonna
be in those
different
factions? See, I think that's a cool idea.
Unless you hook up with your friends and you realize it's like Pokemon Go, you picked the wrong faction too early and you can never play with them.
I would have gone Team Valor.
Sorry.
And they talked about base building. What the acronym they used was CAMP.
Yeah, and you can break it down and move it.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
So I'm just curious. I'm sure we'll find out eventually. But they said anybody can build anything anywhere.
Yeah.
And then you also seamlessly in a server, you won't know what server you're in. You can invite friends, drop in, drop out. But if you had a camp on one mountain and your friend had a camp on that same mountain, and you guys invite each other to play, whose camp survives?
See, like you said, these are things we don't know yet. You do know that you can launch nukes at places.
Yeah, I talked about that.
It's
Like,
fucking crazy.
I wonder how that plays out. Is
Atmospherically.
that an end game thing, or is that just something that happens sporadically on the map, like other players just trolling each other?
Yeah,
Your camp
we
is
don't know yet.
destroyed.
If it's like GTA Online, you could. I read something one time that you can fuck with other players. You can, like on that, you can call on your phone, call like a hit on somebody, and an NPC will show up and try to take them down, whatever. But one is you call an orbital laser on somebody for a butt ton of cash, but like once every real hours or something. But it's just a way people control each other. So I wonder if is this what would be nukes?
I don't know.
How do you survive a nuke?
You don't. It's instant kill. So in that case,
I'm just wondering
if
where
you're controlled a lot by like 15 different people on that server, I'd be pissed. Go ahead.
I'm just wondering what besides VATS, what's going to be lost in multiplayer and what's going to be gained. I mean, it's cool. I would have rather liked the idea of like, hey, you can invite 3 of your friends to play this online, and you 4 can go through the map. This looks like there's going to be that, but you're going to be able to do quests with your friends, but there's also going to be other people that might fuck you up.
Yeah. Do you think they'll have levels now instead of just skills? Is it?
Well, you have levels in Fallout.
Fallout had level. I'm trying to remember.
I'm level like 58.
I'm thinking Elder Scrolls had skills for each thing.
Fallout had levels and you picked skills.
And skill trees.
I confused the whole thing, and they had crafting. I remember. All those games blur together because, to be honest, there's not the same game, but they have the same mechanics in a lot of them.
So there is a level, and then there was when the skills, there was each attribute at the top, and as you upgrade that attribute, you can add skill points into different things.
Okay, you think that'll stay the same?
I'm thinking so, and that's why I'm saying where it is going to be RPG like. Where I got in Fallout 4, I got the Deliverer, and then I put stuff into my handgun thing, so I made my handguns really strong.
Yeah, I remember.
And then I had the VATS thing, so I could do like 20 shots. What are you looking at, Brian?
I'm just checking out this fancy thing, that's all.
Yeah, it's a little different, huh?
Yeah. I have a Fallout question before you continue. Is it so there's been one nuclear war and every game is just the story of a different vault?
Mostly.
Pretty much.
Different region, I think.
All right. So it's all the same time. It's all the same event, but it's just different vaults opening at different times.
Yeah, and this vault opens first. This is
they
the
went
first
in
place.
Well before, I think. I mean, not well before the threat, but more than the last Fallout game where 2 minutes before the nuke went off.
Yeah, that was cool.
This one, people were going in for, I think it was like, well, they all go in for different case studies, but they were going to be in there for 25 years.
Yeah.
So it's at worst 25 years after the nukes, not a couple hundred like the last one.
Oh, okay, so these aren't in the matter of like weeks of each other. These are
all different times.
You're cryo frozen. How old did your kid turn in Fallout 4?
I haven't played Fallout.
Oh,
yeah, that doesn't matter.
Spoilers.
But like each vault was also a different experiment.
Okay,
it has a dark sense of humor. I don't know if you knew that.
I played Fallout 3 for maybe like 10 hours back in like 2009.
And you never played New Vegas or 4?
No, I own 3 in Vegas. I never bought 4.
Okay, and when you played, did you ever go in different vaults at all? Like you always start in kind of a normal vault. There's usually not something wrong, but you go into others, and it's like
they're just fucking tore up.
Like some of them are normal and they have some story, but most of them were just everybody got decimated for some.
There's that
reason,
one that got taken over by plants.
Yeah, it's always funny because you always have to read about like by picking up little newspaper clippings or whatever somebody left behind,
or going in a computer. People have logs in there.
And like the overseer was voted on by the majority, but that one became such a corrupt thing. They started a civil war and killed each other. One had was being leaked in like gas or something that made everybody crazy. And it's under the guys, the people who made the vaults, they made them not to protect people from nuclear war, but to do these tests on humans as for whatever their gain was. I don't know.
Interesting.
But that's like a minor side thing. That's just a running gag, basically. How did people get killed in this vault? So there's always like 4 or 5 vaults in a game.
With these people that are annoyed at some of the changes, at this point I feel like if you're annoyed at changes in a game, it's like should probably do a little bit of a reevaluation.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys.
You hear people complain about Final Fantasy VII Remake.
People are just, that's all they do now.
People just like to bitch.
Hey, you got your remake.
What?
Resident Evil.
Oh, Resident Evil 2 is my favorite Resident Evil as well. I haven't even watched any trailers on it.
You didn't watch anything?
No.
I watched it for the first time last night.
Did you?
You
Yeah.
will.
I'll watch it when
It
we get
was-
done with this.
It was impressive.
It's awesome looking.
Like that's my favorite one.
And they've changed a little thing. They said they want to keep some surprises. They don't, people who know what's happening, they want to change it up. They added some different areas, not very much, but it is over the shoulder, Leon Kennedy, and it looks fun hard, kind of. Zombies, they don't go down easy. They're talking about they want to make them
A little more difficult.
and it has a lot of production value.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, some of the camera angles were.
I think it uses the same engine from the last game.
Yeah, it's a Resident Evil 7 engine.
Did you watch the trailer for Cyberpunk 2077?
Yes.
Yes,
What do you guys think? Obviously, there's no gameplay.
It
yet.
looks good, but I have no idea what it's about.
I wanted to. I typed in gameplay, and it's just people talking. They saw gameplay at the convention, but none. So I couldn't actually tell you if it was going to be a sandbox game.
It's from the same people that make The Witcher, right?
Yes.
Code Red something.
So I mean, a pretty well-respected developer then,
yeah.
because The Witcher is.
I just couldn't tell the style. Like the idea looks awesome.
I heard first-person something,
Yeah, it's a first-person game.
but it really looked to me like it was like it was like a 1/4 Fallout, 3/4 Blade Runner.
Yeah,
It's
like a Cyberpunk.
Really cool atmosphere.
Yeah, it reminds me. Deus Ex was the last game, but that seems more gritty. This one seems more vibrant. So that'll be cool.
I just know that it's anticipated, but I don't know what it's about or
Yeah.
like what the gameplay is or.
Same thing, like I watched that, and I watched Beyond Good and Evil 2, some cinematics. I'm like, this looks awesome. I don't know what the fuck it's going to play like, but boy, it looks cool.
Yeah, it's weird too. I mean, and then there was there was no trailer for it other than just an announcement that
Battletoads.
I wasn't gonna say
Damn it.
Battletoads. I was gonna say the Bethesda Starfield game.
Yeah, because they teased the next that, and
Well, how many other places announced brand new original games? Cyberpunk.
I don't have a list.
Well, it was more than that, though. It's a whole new. What are they what was the terminology
IP.
they used?
It's a new IP.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, you have to start somewhere, and there's just so many things that are a sequel or a remake. I mean, it's cool when something new. The only thing that sucks for me is I don't play a lot of games anymore. I don't have the time. And Spider-Man comes out in September, and Fallout comes out in November. It doesn't give me because I would have taken Spider-Man and taken 3-4 months to play through it. Where now I'm going to be like, okay, I've got 2 months to do this.
You can put it on your shelf.
Yeah, but I very rarely come back. I mean, Last of Us is the only game over the last 10 years I've played through twice. I picked up Fallout 4 again to do some quests that I didn't do.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
I watched a trailer for that. It's about time they're making it in that period.
Yeah, period is like a big selling point. Granted, I feel like I'd have to catch up. But I seen something. I didn't play Origins, but that took place in Egypt.
Yeah.
And this one, I could have sworn I read something that said this new one takes place a couple hundred years before that. Like, did the Greeks exist well before like the pyramid times? Unless it was way late in the.
I was
Egyptian.
listening to another podcast that it was a geologist, and he has a theory that I can't remember if it's the Great Pyramid of Giza or the Sphinx that he's saying might be 5,000 years older than previously thought. He said because of the way that there was erosion on it wasn't from wind and sand, but it was from waterfall. And I mean, at one point, Egypt was lush and tropical, not desert. So, I mean, it was trying to piece it back to that time, which would change the way that everything's looked at in history, which is kind of cool. But
Timeline wise.
Sounds like the Sphinx was in denial.
God damn it, Corey.
that's a Jungle Cruise joke.
I do appreciate those cheesy jokes, though. They're really good.
Yeah. And every
As
once in a
long
while,
as you're on the boat, on the ride.
every once in a while they'll add a new one, and I'm like, yes. What else, Corey?
Kingdom Hearts 3. Anybody?
I saw
Interested?
everything. I just
Then you're like, oh yeah, Toy Story and Frozen.
it's really cool to watch, but I
until you actually play it. It's
Yeah,
not,
and even then, I don't know when I would.
It's also been so long. I think they like missed the boat a little bit. I mean, I know people are excited about it. I know it's going to sell a lot, and a lot of people are going to play it. But I mean, what is it? 13 years?
it's one of those ones where like
Well, they announced it 3 or 5 years ago.
a little while ago.
I mean, the trailers look good, and I don't know.
The voice acting
I'm just not. I just don't think I get up for games as much as I used to.
The voice acting seemed a little weird for me.
Well, I don't think Osmond is.
I assume
Is
I
Sora.
don't know if anybody's coming back, but I liked where they're going in terms of Disney movies, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
Well, they're adding in.
although the Pirates one I could probably done without, I guess.
I will say that the character models in that world looked really good.
Yeah,
Like it's the different outfits that
I have no
Goofy
prob-
and Donald.
although I
and,
want to see more cartoon. I like Monsters Inc. where they turn into monsters instead of like Halloween Town. They had Halloween Town outfits.
Yeah, more like costumes.
Yeah,
I would like them to see them go to a Final Fantasy world. Like send them to Midgard or send them to like some world in a
I never thought about that.
like that would be kind of fun. I
Like,
just don't know where. Send them
switch
to
it up.
Evilise.
Yeah,
But no, I just don't think I get as excited about it. I was kind of bummed they didn't show off a few games. Like Final Fantasy VII wasn't on there.
yeah.
They didn't show off Borderlands 3, which was kind of a bummer.
Is that announced?
No, but I was hoping they would do it. Rocksteady didn't announce anything, although they did put an
There's
announcement.
no Red Dead Redemption. Or
Well, I
whatever.
mean that's trailered, shown, and there has a release date. That's
If they showed gameplay, man, I would have been excited.
yeah. What was the other game I was just talking about? Shit. Oh yeah, Rocksteady wasn't there, and then they put an announcement on Twitter saying that they were,
I saw
we're
that.
sorry, we're really working on something, and my roommate thinks that it's going to be Superman. I've heard also they might do a Ninja Turtles game, but I don't know what property they would want to do.
Considering they're gonna make whatever property it is awesome again,
Yeah,
I would rather be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
than Superman.
Yeah, I think I like those characters better than I like Superman. But to be honest, if it's a good game, it's a good game. If they make a Green Arrow game, cool. Fuck, I'll play it.
Green
Yeah.
Arrow.
Green Lantern, Green Arrow. Yeah, Green Arrow, right?
Yeah,
He's a
that's
DC?
just kind of random.
He's like a very minor to me DC characters. But if they made it, I would play it.
Sorry, I was just putting the kids back down, and they listened to like a lullaby station when they go to sleep, and it was playing a lullaby version of a Linkin Park song.
What?
Yeah.
Was it any good?
Like what song?
No,
But it wasn't good to begin with. So
We were just talking about games that didn't
weird.
show up, that they didn't announce or show off. So
Death Stranding.
I didn't watch anything on it.
it looks good, but again, I'm still. It still amazes me that there was a Metal Gear game that came out like 2 months ago, and it
Dead
wasn't
on
on
arrival.
anybody's radar, which is really sad because 5 was.
And now
Amazing.
Fallout's going to take that gameplay aspect and fuck it up.
Yeah.
What game?
Metal Gear Survive.
Oh,
It was on paper, it may have sounded close to what Fallout 76 is trying to do, except I think they fucked every aspect about it up.
who
Like-
did?
Konami,
Oh,
by not making it fun.
it's because they make more money off of slot machines, right?
Pachinko machines.
Come
But
on.
Norman Reedus as in Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Cool. It's cool looking. Really good looking. You haven't
Yeah.
seen anything on it?
No, I''ve seen screenshots,
Ridiculously
but
good
I
looking.
don't.
I can't understand what the fuck is going on.
I don't
Yeah, me
think
neither.
anybody can, and I just really don't care.
Hideo Kojima has a big fan base of people who like that the way they make trailers and they tease people and they don't tell you what the hell is going on. But I'll be interesting to play. But
Any other games on that list,
I
Corey?
was like, one of the best games I thought. You guys probably didn't watch the video. Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people talking about it. I didn't watch it.
Looked like a mix between Onimusha and Bushido Blade.
Yeah, and I was like, it looked like graphically like The Witcher. I know it's gonna be open world or whatever, but it's Mongol invasion of some island, but it's off of Japan. That's what it's set. But besides just graphics and gameplay, super colorful, awesome looking.
That scene at the end when he's
The
trying to
one-on-one?
fight the woman before when the people are invading in the background, that looked.
It looks like a Crouching
Amazing.
Tiger, Hidden Dragon
Yeah.
fight. And I was like, dude, that.
It reminded me of the end of Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah.
When he fights the end.
Yeah, the end. No,
Yeah. The Joy. The boss.
The
Her name-
boss,
Her name
yeah.
was the Joy too.
no, the joy was the other two.
That was the Sorrow.
Okay.
Nobody
She was a droid?
cares.
No, there was a fight. The last fight in the game took place on a field of flowers.
In what game?
Metal
Metal
Gear
Gear
I don't
Solid
care.
3.
Nobody
Yeah.
cares.
You would care.
We care.
Okay.
That's right.
First of all, the
nobody
guest
cares.
it gets 0% vote, and Katrina and I are each.
It's
You know
up-
what? Corey only gets a quarter of the vote. Katrina and I are the rest.
It's up there for like one of the best video game end fights because I don't know, it's just cool gameplay wise, but like
I think it's more impactful than
yeah,
challenging.
I would say that you have to.
I like the Ellie fight when that guy's trying to fuck her up and the bar's
yeah.
burning down.
She
Yeah.
ruins
was good.
that guy.
Quickly, what else you got?
Smash Brothers, awesome.
I didn't watch a trailer.
Do you know
But
anything about it?
I know it's
Everyone's
got
in it.
every character from the entire.
Yeah, I watched like a 20-something minute thing explaining every change to the game. And I'm
It's like Corey number 2 sent me. He's like, "Hey, check out this video. It's the making of Fallout 76." I'm like, "All right." I clicked on it. 39 minutes. I'm like, "Nope, not right now."
for every video came on E3, they had a show demo, and you could watch like 40 minutes of everything, and
It's too much time.
Yeah,
so not something. There's so many things like Dying Light 2, Just Cause 4, all look awesome. There's probably like 20 of these. But I seen that an article right before I left. Nintendo stock went down because of E3
really?
thing. I'll find the pointage.
They didn't really announce anything.
Yeah,
They didn't show Metroid.
They should have saved either Let's Go Pikachu for like announcement for E3
Yes.
or the next actual Pokemon game. Because last year they had Odyssey and Zelda, and both of the games got like perfect 10s.
Yeah.
And their showing was like they showed off a cool game, Octopath Travelers. You
Their
see that?
problem is still that nobody cares about anything but first-party games for their
Yeah.
system.
The stock went
Absolutely.
down 16%.
There was
Wow.
the mech fighting game that they showed off. It was like Damon versus Machina or something. I didn't watch anything, but the screenshots I saw looked really good. I agree, though. They should have saved Let's Go Pikachu and
Here, let's
Go
wrap
Eevee.
up our E3 coverage.
This game is announced Nintendo. It's Octopath Travelers. I just love the graphics on that. It's like,
Isn't that the same people that did
This looks
like,
very
Tactics?
Super Nintendo-ish.
yeah, but it's like which actually
Yeah.
like 3D, 2D environments.
To me, honestly, it looks like the Illusion of Gaia, but the Illusion of Gaia was an overhead and not like that.
Yeah,
that
this one's still
perspective.
down. You can see the background.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't think the game's gonna be fun to be honest, but the graphics, I was like, fuck.
Did either of you ever play the Illusion of Gaia on Super Nintendo?
No.
God, I love that game. It's
I
one of the
never
games you
played
play Russian roulette in that game.
Is it on?
It's on Super Nintendo.
Is it on the classic?
Probably. No, it's not.
It was Secret of Mana.
That was Secret of Mana. It was on the list of games that should have been like ActRaiser should have been. Got anything else, Corey, before we move on to the game?
I'll add that they announced a new game plus for God of War, which makes me excited because I can play it again. That game's fucking amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's really, really, really good.
Nothing top my head. I watched a lot of shit. They had Halo, Anthem. That game looks awesome.
Anthem looks good. Everything else from Microsoft,
Which is funny
Hard
because
pass.
everybody was saying that Microsoft beat Sony at this year's, but it's all perspective.
It depends on what you want to play.
Yeah.
I don't watch any of the people on stage at all. Like, so to be honest, I watch Todd Howard, but I don't watch E3 for
and that awesome
shit.
Andrew WK concert.
No, don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, that's how they opened with Rage 2, and Andrew WK came out and did a song.
Okay, I was watching a Rage 2 thing, and I just on YouTube I skipped past everything that wasn't on screen demo. So because I don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Before we move on to the game, I'll explain the rules after this. We just wanted to play a little something from one of our friend podcasts on Twitter. So just take a listen to these words from the False Start podcast.
Hello, this is Full Start's podcast.
And we talk about those films that set themselves up for a sequel that never came.
Here's an episode condensed into 60 seconds. Pleased to be enjoy. What's our poisons then?
You get what you're given.
That's some foul stuff.
Does this film confirm the existence of God?
Dum 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 dum.
Such a look of confusion on my face.
Yeah, can we do a quick mini review of 4DX? It was so uncomfortable. I had to go sit on the stairs because it was just more enjoyable. all
And
the
he
time.
looks at the naked lady in front of him, and immediately 150 pressurized egg whites shoots all over him.
It's egg white.
But what was the point in even including it?
To calm his nerves.
They were
But
probably
we
just
don't
placebos.
need him to calm him. Why
He
not
did.
just have?
Yes, we
He
did, because
Why
we saw
not
him
just have
shoot
him
up in heaven.
Be calm. Just cut the No, it was long. Just cut.
So this was a manic time.
This wasn't like this a bit. This was insanity. What happened to us? I feel.
I guess we'll wrap things up. You can find us wherever you find your podcasts.
Type Full Starts Pod in. Full Starts Pudding.
The best kind of pudding.
That's
That's pretty much how the shows go. We'll just use that.
Okay, so you guys listen to that. So go ahead and check out their podcast too. There's some good people. But so I made a little game. I didn't tell anybody the rules or anything what we're going about. So here's the game. 2 people are going to draw a name out of this.
A Cool Whip canister.
It's a Cool Whip original, not fat free.
Good.
It's a
The
Cool
names?
Whip. Yeah, it's a Cool Whip thing. So 2 people are going to draw a name out of there. These are characters that people do not like. Universally despised people. And you have to argue why he's not such a bad guy.
Or she.
Oh, yeah, I guess there's a couple she's. You're going to have to argue whether or not that bad of a guy or girl. And you have to argue why your person isn't as bad as the person across from you picked. You guys get the rules? And the
So
2
we're
people
just arguing for our person.
You
Yeah.
better go first. Show us how it's
Huh?
done.
No, I run this thing. I get to pick who goes first.
But we don't know what you're talking about.
Doesn't matter.
He just
I
explained
just
what
explained the
he's
rules.
talking about.
It's very confusing.
Okay, then Brian, you get to play. Corey doesn't get to play ever.
All right.
He automatically loses.
No, who should we have go first?
It doesn't really matter.
Then I want to see Katrina go first.
Give me one.
And since Katrina and I argue enough, we'll go Brian. I'll argue against Corey. Here, I'll pick one for you. Is that all right? Or do you want to pick your own? You want to pick
Is
your
there
own.
a winner in this?
Huh?
And if so, who decides?
I think I know who this
You and
person
I are
is.
going to decide.
What if
Let
we
me see.
draw?
Yes, you should know who that is. If you want to pick another one?
No.
Okay. Who'd you get, Brian?
Warden Norton from Shawshank Redemption.
You know who that is?
That's the boss.
That's the boss with the glasses.
Yeah.
He's very cute.
The obtuse guy.
Yes, the obtuse guy. And Katrina got Commodus from Gladiator, which is Joaquin Phoenix's character. So do you guys want to... I'm letting you soak it in for a second. Think about what these people did. Do you remember the movie, Katrina?
Oh my god, it was so long ago that I watched it. It's fine. No, I got it.
Okay, so Brian, why is your guy not such a bad guy?
Oh Lord.
I mean, besides the fact that... Nah, you know what? I can't go there.
No, don't say anything.
I think he just wanted to keep a well-run prison. He had some rules established, and people tried to step out of line. And then, unfortunately, Tim Robbins' character kind of said he was going to blackmail him, and he's like, you know what? Fuck that. No, I'm giving you libraries and all this shit, and you're going to try to pull this shit on me.
Evading taxes and endangering inmates.
There's a guy in the White House that does that right now, and nobody cares.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say that. Mr.
If you're arguing against Donald Trump, then yes, you would win. But that is not the case here.
Yeah, Donald Trump's far worse than Warden Norton.
Yeah, I think we can all agree on that. At least the people in this room.
Letting people get stabbed and raped.
Okay.
In the White House?
I don't know, man. I haven't been
Still
there.
doing that?
And then, there was this young brash gentleman that was saying, you know what, I'm gonna stand it. I don't remember what Tim Robbins. Oh, Andy Dufresne. It's like, I'm gonna stand up for Andy. I'm gonna prove him wrong. And then, he just wanted to squash him. And when he shot the guy, when he had the guy shoot him, it was just one shot.
Just
Wasn't-
one.
Yeah, just one shot. That's all you needed.
What do you
Wasn't
think, Corey?
anything big.
Should we be allowed to ask questions?
Yeah.
This is like a
entertaining.
debate. This is like debate team.
But
Yeah.
we should let opening statements go.
Okay.
So in that aspect, Katrina should.
So are you two voting on who does the
Yeah.
better
Who
defense?
does the better?
Yeah.
Oh,
Who's
okay.
not such a bad guy
Okay.
or girl?
Let me add in that he did the brave thing and took his own life at the end of the movie.
That's not the brave thing.
He did the.
It's not
he did
like-
the right
That
thing.
was the easy
It's
way
not
out.
like he had a mental health issue. That guy was a pussy that knew what was going to happen to him if he went to jail.
Yeah, he did.
Because he ran
That's not a
one.
question,
Yeah, you
Robert.
did.
Sorry.
Let's just say he helped everybody else.
You have a
Out.
bias, man.
He helped them?
He helped everybody else out by
No, this list of people, nobody likes these characters.
Yeah.
That's why they're on this list.
Yeah, there's no logical defense, but I'm making this illogical.
Okay. Katrina?
Well, let's see here. He was running a kingdom. He was making sure people got fed, had his armies together. Like I told you, I hadn't watched this thing in forever. What else did he do?
Did he kill his father?
You know, sometimes when you're abused, you like to project, like...
Did he molest his sister?
I have a question on that because his father seemed like he didn't do anything but love him.
You know, it always looks that way to everybody else, but you never really know what happens on the back end when nobody else is watching.
So are you insinuating that his father...
Maybe he taught him to molest his sister and he was just acting out and didn't really know what he was doing. And he himself was a little mentally off kilter, didn't really make the connection there that he was actually doing a bad thing.
So you're saying if he was raised this
in
way,
a normal home,
he wouldn't understand that that's a bad thing.
No, I think that was normal for him.
I would just like to say that Judge Norton, or whatever's
Warden
Norton, just took some bribes. He did none of that. He didn't
What was
get
his
people.
whole
You mean his
life?
pies filled with cash?
Yeah, he just took some bribes, but he didn't teach people how to do not nice things. And even then, I'm sure that when Andy Dufresne got some misconduct in that room with the redhead, and then the sergeant came in and whooped his ass. Pretty sure that the warden had something to do with that. So he protected Dufresne. He didn't teach him how to do the unspeakable things that Commodus did.
But he had him break the law.
Yeah, different rules in prison. Shawshank is
Different
its own
rules when you're a king.
Yeah, that's
Emperor.
Yeah.
Emperor, sorry.
No, that's okay. We won't hold that one against you.
Okay, thank you.
Corey, do you have any questions?
I don't know. I just want to make statements, but
Ask a question that would lead to the statement that you're thinking of.
open-ended questions, Corey.
you better go. I'll think of something.
See, my question would be, okay, you're talking about how he possibly molested his sister. I mean, they showed him kind of grabbing her, right? I don't know. Like you said, it's been a little while since we... Did he murder anybody else in this movie? Or did he command anybody to be murdered?
He's an emperor. He does that all day. That's his job.
Maximus' wife and child.
His wife and child?
You know, there's always, things that happen with war and keeping people in line. And you got to keep your shoulders moving forward. I can't even talk right now.
Soldiers.
Did he shank anybody? Did Warden shank anybody?
No, he just put Dufresne in the hot box for 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months.
That's not that bad.
That's mental torture.
Yeah.
He came out. He was
Brian,
he was,
question.
He was cleansed. He was.
Would
Cleanse.
you rather?
He got his lesson
Would
taught.
you rather have a quick death, or would you rather be tortured?
I would rather have a quick death.
Okay, I'm just saying. And what do you feel like multiple months in solitary is?
I think it's a chance for Dufresne to reflect and get a little.
When was the last time you were alone for 2 months without speaking?
Or sunlight.
I'm going to tell you this. I went from a job where I worked and I got to talk all day to a job where I don't get to say anything for 5 hours at a time.
You talked to lunch ladies.
Is that when you started the podcast? We can talk,
right?
I
I just took a drink of my tea and missed my mouth.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did your beard catch it?
Right in the anus.
Okay, so I was eating a fudgesicle. And a piece of the fudgesicle fell off into my beard. You can't get fudgesicle out of the beard without just going in the bathroom and washing it out.
thought you were going to trim it.
I was
It's
going
more
to,
fun when
but
he
the,
doesn't notice.
the boys asked me not to.
Oh, you should do one of those. Well, I guess they're too old for you to do one of those. Look at me with a beard, then I'm going to shave it. And look at me without a beard. 'cause
Oliver
they've
calls
seen
me
you with
Chubby
that one.
Cheeks, and he puts his hand in my beard.
That's adorable.
Okay, so Brian would rather be killed than tortured. Katrina says that killing women and children is in line with keeping soldiers in line. Do you guys have anything else to say? I mean, this is the first one. We'll get the hang of it as we go.
I'm just trying to remember the movie.
What's the most redeeming quality about
There you go. That's a good question. Brian first.
your person?
I think the warden could be reasoned with. I'm assuming that all major decisions went through him. So, getting the beers on the balcony.
By reasoned with, do you mean that Andy found a kid that heard another person
Exonerated him.
admit to killing his wife and her lover.
And sent him
Maybe
away.
Maybe
Did
not
Andy get a
completely
poster, though?
reasoned with, but he had his moments.
But did Andy get a poster in his jail cell? So
Yeah, but he didn't-
trade-offs there.
He didn't do it through the warden though. He did it through Red.
But the warden saw it and let him keep it up.
Yeah, I guess he said he didn't approve.
So it's a trade-off. Young man's life poster, you know.
Do
Fair
you
trade.
think human life is worth less than a poster, Brian? Is that what you're saying?
What's the poster of?
Rita Hayworth.
Is that the...
Caveman lady.
No, I don't think that was her. That was Raquel Welch. What the fuck? Why do I know that?
Which one was the
you've
one
watched
he
this
threw the rock
movie.
through at the end? Wasn't
That was Raquel Welch.
okay.
Hey, the warden
Rita
gave...
Hayworth was the one that like threw her hair back when he first watched the movie.
The warden gave him pie towards the end of the movie. I don't think Commodus gave anybody
But it was a
pie.
shit pie because his wife
he
couldn't bake.
fed.
Right?
It was still
Katrina,
pie.
Was there pie involved?
There
Did
wasn't-
anybody get a pie from Commodus?
From him, he had to feed his whole country.
But was it a pie?
I don't know if you want to get a pie back then.
I want the truth. Nothing but the truth.
Yeah. How did they? I guess they would have baked with like fire inside of like a ceramic or
Like a wood fire pizza oven.
Yeah.
Like that.
Too
But it's
busy
hard to keep
having
a specific
orgies.
temperature on that.
Best redeeming quality, Katrina.
They built that Coliseum. I'm sure they could keep the fire steady.
He kept his people happy.
He did reopen the gladiator pits, right?
Made a lot of people happy.
The greater good.
There's a lot
The
of quote
greater
happy
good.
people in this country right now.
They're
not
the
good, though.
vocal minority.
Ugh.
They're just very prominent in the media.
Corey, what's your vote? Who's not such a bad guy?
I'm split. They both seem like a-holes.
Well established.
Well, yes,
They both
that's
seem
the
well
point.
adjusted.
Let me ask. Which one went out like more of a bitch?
Wait, what?
Which one went out like more of a bitch?
The one
Or-
who killed himself.
Oh,
Or Commodus tried to stab Maximus to
He was just trying to gain a one up on the
to
fight.
win a one-on-one fight, and he ended up getting
yeah, he
fucking-
Commodus cheated.
and he still lost.
Yeah, see,
So-
Your guy's trying to evade taxes. That's still
he
cheating.
did evade taxes for a long time.
Well, you're not supposed to admit to that.
Or have prisoners do it for you.
He was
I
resourceful.
wanna-
he was resourceful.
I want to argue these as well because I feel like I could make some points, but
But so I'm split on the decision aspect. We got to have like one tiebreaker, something. What can you ask?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't.
Which was the better movie?
Those are both good movies.
I know.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Gladiator in a long time, but I like Shawshank.
So one guy was kind of cool to Andy, but
But to his
So
own.
you stuck him in a box.
he killed some random people, and he was very greedy. The other dude was possibly a molester, a father murderer,
That already makes it worse.
and
Environmental influences.
An insane
It was not his
emperor.
fault.
That battle at the beginning of Gladiator is so good.
all the fights in that. Like,
Yeah, they really are. I feel like I need to watch that again now.
it's long.
It is, but it's worth it. So Corey,
I always hated. Is it weird? I have to go by what I felt before.
yeah, you can't use.
It's by argument.
Yeah, it's by argument. Not,
That just means that what he did was pointless.
Commodus is one of the most like hated.
That's
movie
why
villains.
I feel like Commodus, because I feel like it's hard to defend.
I
somebody
call
like that.
bias judge.
Usually we have an odd amount of people for these, so we
I don't
have
feel like
a
you
tie.
defended molestation well enough.
That it was his environment and that, he was primed to do it.
I feel like every pedophile's excuse.
It's not.
I'm not going to be able to post some of this stuff.
Didn't
And-
Commodus have slaves?
They all did back then.
My guy didn't have any slaves.
Well,
He had
almost-
prisoners.
All right, Brian wins. I'm sorry, Katrina.
Okay.
I think that was just a downfall of the time period, unfortunately.
All right. Let's move on to this next
is
one.
pretty interesting. All right, so now it's Corey and Robert. That was spirited, Katrina. Thank you.
Fuck. Corey,
Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill, huh? I'm gonna win this argument.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Skylar from Breaking Bad.
Ostensibly, she's.
I hope Peggy Hill is in this because you guys hate Peggy Hill.
That should have been in here.
Oh, what's her face from How I Met Your Mother? Lily
Lily?
should have been here.
Yeah, I would have. But these these are like I came up with a bunch of names on my own to do this, and then I found a list of characters that people hate. And then somebody on Twitter actually, one of our listeners, his name's Bob. Oh, and I have to just announce that real quick. We've gotten a lot of traction on our charity episode. I just want to take a break to talk. Or should I talk about it at the end?
Talk about the end.
Okay, I'll talk about it at the end. So Skylar, Corey, and who's your Buffalo Bill? First of all, I'd like to say that my person didn't kill anyone and take their skin
Let me say that
to make a suit.
she
Dresses.
inadvertently caused more people to die from all her poor decisions. Where's the money, Skylar? Where's the money?
How did people die because of her?
You know how many people died? I'm sure.
Who died? Because of
You're
her?
not supposed to argue, Katrina.
Sorry, I'm curious.
Who's the? I can't remember the names now. The big bad boss, the
Gus?
Gus Fring. If
So,
Walter White had made off with the money, that
Okay. So a high-powered drug kingpin died. Who did Buffalo Bill kill?
nobody. He had a puppy. He was a very nice man.
So Buffalo Bill, if you aren't aware, is the person that Clarice is hunting in Silence of the
He took a
Lambs.
young girl into his home, and he fed her, and gave her lotion.
After stuffing her down a well.
No,
Katrina.
he gave her a.
You just call me Parker.
Because I'm used to yelling at our
He
kids.
gave her a solo suite, and
A solo suite.
So
A
what about all the
private- a
previous
private
women that he had
penthouse.
already killed to make this suit?
Because there was like
listen,
3 different skins on
Dresses.
that suit.
Was it dresses?
He was making dresses out of skin.
I thought he was making like a not a dress, but like a suit to wear.
He made dresses out of skin.
Okay.
so he's very fashionable. Like I said,
You should see Brian's face.
he was
All
cutting edge and fashion.
my character is guilty of is being a wife who wanted her husband to achieve what she knew he could.
What?
She didn't know at this time. She didn't know he was making meth. She just thought he could do
And
more.
some damn good meth at that.
Yeah.
What's the
the best
redeeming
meth,
quality of
Corey.
Skylar?
She ended up kicking him out of the house.
That's redeeming. She should have embraced his alter ego.
No, that's illegal activity. She ended up kicking him out of the house.
I'm pretty sure she went along with the legal activity.
A little while, but she also didn't skin any women.
How do you know?
You can't make up stuff about the character. Buffalo Bill was an actual serial killer who was skinning women.
Listen, Buffalo Bill was misunderstood. He was a woman trapped in a man's body, and he had problems. He was raised that way. And we all know
Can't steal my shit.
We already know because of the previous argument that that's not going to fly.
it worked for some people. So, if he was abused as a child, then it shows in the future.
I'll even go as far as to say is I know what was wrong with my client, my person. She was just annoying. She went along with a little bit of stuff, but nothing that would land you in prison for the rest of your life.
She did a lot of money laundering.
Yeah, but money laundering isn't going to land you in prison for the rest of your life.
She had her boss kidnapped and held hostage.
Did she skin her boss while he was held hostage, or did he make it out
She
alive?
thought about it.
Was that the boss that fell down and hit his head?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't die, did he?
No, I think he just got fucked up.
Yeah, well, he's not. She didn't skin him.
She conned a local car wash owner into selling his business.
That was just smarts.
That's illegal.
Did she skin anyone?
I'm not saying she didn't.
She didn't skin anyone. Do you guys have any questions?
Did she skin anybody? Does anybody really know?
My question is, can we move on from this? Because there's already a clear winner in my mind.
Who? You, Katrina? This is no preconceived notions. I'm just giving you the fact that he, in fact, killed multiple women and skinned them. And my person is guilty of some money laundering.
They died of natural
and
causes,
lying.
but their skin looked great when they died.
Natural causes?
Yes, starvation's
You know,
natural.
technically nobody can die from natural causes anymore.
Is starvation natural?
No, but they say
That's not natural.
How is it not natural? It's the most natural way to die.
but there's no natural causes on
It's natural selection.
Like a
If they
death
couldn't
form.
get out of that hole,
Is it because you give yourself heart disease by eating garbage?
Well, let's be like you die of
something.
cardiac arrest or respiratory failure, or heart failure. I mean, that's natural.
I think after a certain age,
what
it
about
becomes
getting
natural.
eaten by a bear? Is that natural cause?
Natural.
I mean, natural to the bear.
You've tried to take a selfie with it? Yeah, try that.
You hear about that couple that were trying to take a selfie at some cliff and they both fell off and
No.
and died?
Was it a big cliff?
It was in
Sounds like it.
I think it was in Brazil.
Did a bear tackle him off?
That's fucked. Katrina, do you have any questions?
These women died with beautiful skin. They were lotion.
He's just digging himself a bigger hole.
He did give them lotion. I
Yeah.
mean,
and just
He
so
gave
you
them
know,
puts the
lotion so
lotion on
that
its
skin
skin
was
or
better
gets
when
the
he
hose
they
peeled
on.
it
should
off
have
their
ate
dead
it.
bodies.
It was food.
and he is one of two movies I can recall where the character did the tuck.
What's the other one?
Jay and Silent Bob,
Yes.
Clerks
And
2.
he loves his little dog. He has a lot of love in his heart.
Precious.
Yeah, and you could tell that. Skylar, I feel like she didn't even love her baby. She almost lost it. Do you remember that?
No,
Last season, her baby got taken.
Skylar. They had another kid.
Walter took the
She was
baby.
pregnant when the show started.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And she lost her baby. Who loses their baby?
A lot of
A
parents.
lot of parents.
Not Buffalo Bill.
Losing your kid isn't a
And
crime.
he did lose his dog down a hole.
Losing your kid isn't a crime.
I think it might be, depending on the circumstances, if you just...
Losing your kid on purpose, dropping your kid off somewhere and leaving, yes.
I think if you just lose a kid in the back of a car while you're inside the mall, yeah, that's a crime.
That's not losing. You knew where the kid was.
You're leaving them there.
Everybody
Yeah,
who
you
seems
forgot
to get,
about that child.
everybody who gets caught like, oh man, I forgot. Whoops,
I can understand forgetting, but that's...
I lost him in the back seat.
All right, Brian, what's your vote? Since you don't have any more questions.
I'm voting for who's the worst.
Who's not such a
Who's
bad
not so bad?
Not
person?
such a bad person.
So the person you vote for is the winner.
Skylar's not such a bad person.
Agreed.
Okay.
Would you have defended Hannibal?
Would I have?
Yeah,
If she had to.
He eats the rude.
he eats the root. He ate a guard who got too close.
Rude.
Sorry, it's an inside joke.
How is that serial killer cooler
Well,
than Buffalo Bill?
since you and Katrina lost, should Brian and I pick one and argue?
Sure.
And then you guys can pick one and argue? All right.
How much longer you want to run this?
What are we at?
52.
We'll do one more each, I guess. Fuck me. There's no... This person's not so bad. They're an educator.
Maybe we should be arguing that my person's not so bad and we don't tell each other who it is. And that's who you tell at the end.
That's a good idea.
Okay, so what are we doing?
You're not going to tell us the name. You're going to tell us stuff about your character.
Maybe you should show each other the names, but you can't mention it to us, because that
Okay.
way you know who to attack.
Okay.
I already know who's yours is.
Well, give me a hint on yours.
Or you can swap them so you can both look at
Let's-
them.
let's
I
show
don't
each other real
care.
quick. Show each other.
I don't know who this is.
Let me see.
Redraw.
No, let me see. He might just need an explanation. You know who it is.
Do you need to have a side meeting?
Write him a note. Send him a text.
I'm learning who it is that I'm defending.
You'll once you
Like a court-appointed lawyer.
Hopefully, you really know this dude because you got to defend him.
He's just got to explain why he's not a bad
you know
guy.
who he is now?
I know who he is now.
Do you know him enough
Not
to be able
that
to?
guy.
You just got to explain things about him. And why he's
yeah,
not a bad person.
I'll give it a whirl.
Okay.
Why not?
So my person is a lady. She is an educator, and in her heart, she just cares about children and being educated in the proper way.
Sounds like a nice.
Yeah,
lady.
but does she care enough about them to scar their hands over and over and over?
It's not permanently scarred.
That's
goes away.
torture. She tortured children.
To get them to learn better.
Tortured children.
for the greater good. My understanding.
To get them to learn.
To learn
that they
what?
mustn't tell lies.
What a lesson.
The centaurs taught her a lesson.
Yeah, I mean, you can say whatever you want, but she's just a teacher. I mean, she's just trying to help. And obviously, there's been a slew of bad teachers in that specific department for a very long time, to the point where it's changed year after year after year. I mean, she's obviously better than a fucking werewolf.
That's just a plot point to keep the books going.
I mean, who would you rather have? Somebody that does a little harsh punishment or a fucking werewolf? She's not going to eat your kid.
Well, because we know who the werewolf is when he's not a werewolf. I'd rather have him. He cared.
Fucker can't even remember to take his potion.
Plus, he ran away. He made sure to remove himself from the situation.
He could have just taken his potion.
She is blatantly just evil.
Well, what about your guy?
So He's a caring father, but
that tried to kill one of his sons.
like all parents, he had a favorite. So basically, he chose one.
You are not a parent.
And
he treated one like shit, then tried to kill him while he was still alive.
Yeah. But what if that son just wasn't any good?
He was. He was able to.
If it was a good son, I would kill him.
She did drop him.
Yeah. So, she's a good person then. I'd defend her.
I mean,
Nicole Kidman's mom.
when this son that was not as good as his favorite was given the opportunity to have ultimate power, he let it go. Obviously, that's a pretty good person.
I feel like I should have watched this movie again.
Does that person deserve to be burned alive with wood and oil?
He thought he was dead.
You could see him breathing.
That guy was in such a trance, probably full and drunk at the same time.
A little person told him
We can say
that he's still alive.
for some reason I wanted to say we can say dildo.
Dildo? It wasn't him.
We
Okay.
can say Hobbit. That's not. In
Do you guys know who each one of us is talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
So he has Denethor, and I have Dolores Umbridge.
And I need to clarify.
They should hook up.
Boromir died. Faramir did not.
He did not.
Correct.
Faramir.
Denethor thought Faramir was alive.
And Pippin told him.
Yeah.
He tried to kill his own son. Dolores
I
Umbridge
thought
didn't
he
try
just
to kill
tried
anybody.
to cremate him.
Yeah, that equals death.
No, but he didn't know he thought he was dead.
Yeah, but he told him he's still alive.
Because he sent him away to die.
Here's a big contention point. Did he believe that his son was actually dead? Which I know.
After he sent him to die, he believed he was dead.
Pippin shouted out a couple times, "He's alive, he's alive." Did he actually believe Pippin?
So at that point, you're saying he believes that he's alive, but he's going to end his line right there
If he
anyways.
believed he was alive, then that is premeditated murder. If he didn't believe that he was alive, then it is a cremation.
Well, you're screaming to somebody that they're alive. He's breathing.
But
You're
they
right
don't
there.
Believe it. That's my only.
It doesn't matter. As a caring father, you should go check to make sure they are before you burn them.
This is for you.
They didn't know how to check pulses in whatever year this happened.
Pippin could see him breathing.
Yeah, but he was a hobbit. He didn't believe him. All he wanted to do was hear him sing, and he appreciated good music.
And he ate like a savage with those tomatoes and stuff, and all you saw was like food just falling out of his mouth.
He loves
He was a
music and
passionate
food.
eater. He appreciated good food, and he ate his vegetables. That's responsible.
In the dark times, who was a better leader
Wait,
for
what?
the people?
No, I don't think either one of them were leaders. Well, I guess Denethor was
He was the steward. The other became headmaster.
Was she headmaster?
She was acting
was.
headmaster because she took.
Well,
all of
I can tell you
Dumbledore's
this: she
powers.
kept everybody in line. Everybody's shirts were tucked in. There was nobody making out and fucking all over the place. They were there for.
You can say the same thing about Gondor.
Already there. That means that she's worse. She's like, what? You can't make out. You can't fuck.
Not as an adult. She tried to get kids to learn, not to fuck around.
Hey, they're in high school. They're gonna mess around occasionally.
Not on school campus.
Yeah.
You go to Hogsmeade to do that shit. You can go fuck in the three broomsticks in the bathroom. You're not fucking in Hogwarts.
No, you got to get into.
You might get
what is it
warts.
called? The precepts bathroom.
Do you want to have sex in a place that's called Hogwarts? You're gonna end up with some weird STD.
Well, now that we all know what Hogwarts is, and we can like visit it up the road, then yeah, that'd be
you're
fun.
about to say up the butt.
No, we could visit it 2 hours north.
I
Yeah, I'll
like
do
to
that.
think that the STD you get at Hogwarts, but instead of growing warts, you grow tusks, like on your balls.
How long have you thought of that before?
No, this is all stuff right now. All I'm saying is Umbridge didn't try to burn a child or her kid alive, and I think it all boils
I
down
think
to
the mental torture applied to a Mr. Potter was worse.
Potter could handle it.
I don't know.
I'm just going to ask questions. Is torturing 80 students worse than killing one?
She didn't actually kill any, so I mean,
I'm just comparing, like, say, child, whatever. This guy's adult man. But I leave that to you, gentlemen.
I think she would torture her own child if she had. The
well, you could
opportunity
honestly,
to.
if you flip it around, Faramir was systematically tortured for his entire life by showing how big of a piece of shit his dad thought he was compared to Boromir. I mean, it was from when they were children he belittled him. I mean, that just the way he acted and the way he was looked at, you could tell that for his entire life he had
Did
been
they
treated
show
like
anything?
shit.
Is this all expanded?
No, but they also didn't show 80 kids get tortured.
Just being at that school while she was headmaster was torture enough.
Not for Slytherin, who were all given power to fucking... What were they called? They were called the...
Inquisiting Squad.
yeah,
Narcs.
the Inquisitors.
What'd I say?
What?
Narcs.
Yeah, Narcs. Katrina, you have any questions?
Mm-mm. I think you guys are doing just fine.
This is the best This is the best back and forth so far.
God, this is hard because I really, really despise your character.
We all do.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody does.
That's
but
the
when
point.
But when you break it down, Denethor was not a good
You
person.
gotta tell me more good things about Denethor. I want to hear more about Denethor.
I don't know enough about Denethor.
He was also given knowledge that Aragorn was still around, but refused to acknowledge him as king. I mean, he was supposed to only hold that.
Until the next in line came.
Granted, Aragorn never returned while he was still.
Yeah,
living.
that was through the grapevine. He's a king. He can't just believe.
It's not through the
everything he
grapevine. It
hears.
was through the Palantir. What are those things called? Didn't he have one as well?
I don't know
At
if
one
the
point?
movies explored that, but
I think he.
I think in the book.
I think he would have had to see Aragorn. He could just give up his kingship. Just
Well, he was
He was a
denying.
king.
by word of mouth.
I mean,
whatever
if
he
you
Denying
was.
the
if you
return of the
listened,
Lordship.
Gandalf actually says to him that it's not your whatever to deny the return of the king, and he said, "Rule of Gondor is mine." So I mean, he's admitting right there that even if there is a king, he's going to be the one in
control.
charge still. That's just a power-hungry guy who wants to murder his own child.
I will say that Denethor's death scene was better than Umbridge's kidnapping.
Yes, but who runs for half a mile on fire?
that's a talent.
Denethor.
That's skill.
Yeah,
though.
that's a. He wanted to get out of the building, so he didn't set it on fire.
Is that testament to his cardio?
You can't set marble on fire.
He didn't want to. He didn't want to be a burden to his family and have them clean up his dead, charred body.
All right, guys.
just ran off the
You
cliff.
got to vote on this. We got to do one more, and then we got to talk
I
about some
don't even know if
stuff.
we're going to have time for that. It's over an hour.
It's over an hour already. I've got to cut a little bit out. So,
Okay.
Corey,
Ostensibly, from just listening here, Denethor sounds like the worst piece of shit.
Katrina,
Agreed.
2
Although,
for me.
I will say, in terms of life,
Yeah,
Dolores
Dolores
Umbridge
Umbridge
is
is
the
a
biggest
piece of
piece of
shit.
shit I've ever seen on screen.
She's one of the worst.
I'll take that.
Yeah,
'cause we all know
I
that
agree
she's
with you.
terrible.
Just here.
Out of all this, I would pick her number one probably.
We're
I
gonna
think
do one more quick one, and then we're going to
Quick one.
we'll hold the rest.
I think at some point we should do this like opposite though, like pick people that everyone loves and just tear them down as much as possible.
All right, give me 1 second.
So who's going to start?
What are you talking about? Some
Stop
good
hitting
stuff.
your mic, man.
I'm not hitting the mic. I'm hitting the cord. Technically.
Whoever wants to go first can go first.
So, I will say some good stuff. My character is not a murderer, not a bad guy, has a pure heart, good intentions, and became the unassuming hero at the end of his journey.
But he stole.
He stole?
Yeah. You could call a thief a good-hearted person?
What did he steal?
In the marketplace, he stole food.
I think he returned it.
I don't know about that.
I heard the cost. He returned it promptly.
If you're trying to tear down Aladdin, it's not going to work.
I know this list, and I'm trying to think of who the hell you guys are talking about. Like I wrote these names.
He has a series of unfortunate incidents, but none of them are
Mistakes
Yeah, not always his. Sometimes just bad luck.
or being stupid.
He is a bit careless, but nothing detrimental to the effort, war effort, or the effort to install peace. He actually, if he wasn't there, shit might have gone south. I will say that.
I don't know about that.
From meeting the main characters to guiding them to being there, being a voice, to being a friend, he was there for everybody. So he was a good guy. That's all I have to say about this character.
This is fun just trying to figure out who it
Yeah.
is.
See, my character, he was just trying to help his brother and just keep things going. And yeah, he's helping out, overseeing everything, making sure things are getting paid, things are getting done.
I think he was
I know who yours is.
technically usurping his brothers.
No, his brother left to go fight a war, so he was the next in line to make sure things got taken care of.
And he made the poor poorer and the rich richer.
Well, it costs money to run things, and
It's
you gotta
not Donald
pay
Trump,
bills.
Brian.
It's always fucking Donald Trump.
It's never.
It's a little bit
always
one
that.
thing to take money from a kid who's fucking hobbling on a cane.
See, he didn't take that money. That was somebody who was working for him. He made a bad decision. He
that
would be
money
dealt
went
with
straight
later.
into his coffers, man.
But he's just trying to make sure all the good people are getting what they need.
He branded the hero an outlaw.
I think I know who yours is, but I can't remember where they stole food.
See, he just
I think I know who
messes
Katrina's
up
is.
everything. If you put him anywhere in that movie, it is just awful. He's causing
We're
problems,
talking about.
flipping things over, messing up plans.
We're
Who
talking
are you
about.
talking about? Are you
big
talking about Corey's?
Problem.
We're talking minor inconveniences to ruining a kingdom. We're talking about a guy who.
He messes everything up.
We're talking about a guy who steps on poop compared to a guy that actively tries to murder a group of friendly vigilantes.
He was just defending his kingdom for his brother because his brother was gone.
He was
That's all
actively
he was doing.
terrorizing the poor.
No,
He was menacing.
Like I
And
said, it
for
was his
one,
employee.
He was a bitch, sucking his thumb and shit.
he just wanted his mom. What's wrong with that?
I need to hear more about yours, Corey.
Well, I said all the good stuff. He is a good guy. He ends up being a war hero. And at the end,
He's a mistake.
He gets promoted. He
He got kicked out of his
he becomes
own
a general.
clan because he was such a fuck up.
No, he is such good in combat that he took out more of his adversaries than most
his own people
most
didn't
of his
want
kin.
him, so they threw him out of there.
They promoted him. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know
they
exactly
gave
what you're
him a
talking
How
medal.
about.
bad do you have to be if your own people don't want you to come home?
He became a politician later in life. He is like a war hero to his people. He's most famous of his kin.
These two arguments are, I mean, neither one of you have a serial killer or a torturer.
It's
or-
all these people. They're very animated and very whimsical.
I'll tell you this, at
fine.
first
Are
I
they
thought you
both-
had Upham.
Are they actually really both very animated? Is this
Mine
gonna
is
help?
very
Yours is
animated.
very animated.
Mine is animated, but not to 2D effect.
I thought you had Upham from Saving Private Ryan for a second.
What did
Yeah,
I
I need
say
to-
that made you think Upham?
You said a war hero.
But he had a lot of little like mistakes.
Well, Upham isn't like a serial killer, but people hate that guy.
I can see that. My character's just annoying, but once you get past the annoyance, if you think about
you never get past the annoyance.
all the good he's done for the galaxy,
and
Used
all the
to think some
messes they had to
people's
clean
gonna
up.
not like this character.
Ever.
he's a war hero, sir. A senator, sir.
Oh, I know now.
He is a bombad general.
Okay, so obviously we have.
Am I saying it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I don't know the guy's name, but I know
Prince
who it is.
John.
Yeah, that guy.
Prince John versus Jar Jar Binks.
Correct. I will say he assisted the Jedis. He saved their life a couple times. He assisted them through the planet core. He guided them to the capital city of Naboo. And boy, was he just incredible everywhere he went. He helped Anakin fix his pod racer. Without him, they wouldn't have fixed it in time. He was there every lap of that movie. And
And all we want to do is erase him from memory.
listen, if he made a couple, like he dropped a wrench, he stepped in poop. He tried to eat some food that he didn't have 14 whoopie for.
Nice.
But all in all, if you took him out of the equation, the Jedi would have died, never rescued Anakin, not done any of this. It would have been a failure. So, Prince John, piece of shit. Piece of garbage.
He was just taking care of business
He was a
while
garbage
Richard was
lion.
away.
Did
And he paid for his crimes.
Yeah, he did, because he was a criminal. You know who wasn't? Jar Jar Binks. I leave it there.
he just dropped the
Drop
paper? He didn't drop the mic.
I wouldn't drop it.
I wanted to ask more questions, but we kind of just need to get through this one.
Yeah, you do.
Um,
What questions do you have?
I can't think of any at the top of my head because I'm thinking.
He believed in the fellow mind women that was going to tell him his future. Wanted to look and see what was going to happen. Let them into his little coach. Even though they were vagrants and Sir Hiss told him not to.
Is that the adoring quality?
One was annoying. What's your vote, Brian?
Which one am I voting for again?
Which one's not so bad? The one you vote for is the one that wins this round.
I'm voting Jar Jar because he wanted to help. Prince John absolutely did not.
He's a good guy.
Is wanting to help and be a fuck up better than knowing you're a fuck up and just being a fuck up?
I think his intent. I think someone's ethical and cultural intentions, if they're positive, that's
Didn't he
better.
also vote to give absolute power to the
Chancellor.
chancellor?
Yeah,
Effectively,
but
he didn't.
Destabilizing.
But how many votes were there?
I know, but if he was the one that introduced the bill,
it's kind of a weird Senate system. Anybody could have introduced it. If it wasn't him, legitimately, Palpatine would have got.
let
somebody
me.
else.
Okay, Brian, I'll say this to you in front of Corey. A Republican that votes for an absolute atrocity, something that's really, really that you know is bad for the country, do you hold that senator responsible because they voted for it, or do you just say, well, there's a lot of people that voted on it?
No, and I would agree with you at this, and especially now.
So he basically,
like, if there's unwavering support, then
In this case, this would have been everybody who voted for Franklin Roosevelt to get a third term during World War II. If he ended up becoming a dictator after the fact, you couldn't have been able to tell back then it was saving the country. So this was saving the republic. So it may have been a misled.
nice save, Corey.
But like legitimately, it was wartime. They had to save the republic. And if the Jedi Council couldn't see past fucking the Chancellor's disguise, then how was Jar Jar being
Couldn't
supposed
see
to?
or didn't want to see?
Dude, they were fucking looking him right in the face and talking about an evil Sith somewhere, but they can't find him. Like, come on, Yoda, you piece of shit. Don't put that on Jar Jar. You can't put that on Jar Jar.
You just called Yoda a piece of shit.
Dude,
You're a horrible person.
Him and Mace Windu are looking down the Chancellor and like, something's afoot, but we don't know what it is. Curious this is.
But one's possibly a small percentage responsible for the deaths of like millions of people across the galaxy.
And the other's Jar Jar Binks.
So you voted for Jar Jar Binks being not so bad?
yes.
I guess I could vote for Prince John and just be a stalemate, and I'm the only one that's won anything.
You can do that.
I win everything, says Robert.
Well, now I want to do that. Yeah. Neither one of them are really all that bad compared to like a Buffalo Bill or a Dolores Umbridge.
Which one gets a medal?
You should put the sheriff in Nottingham and not Prince John. He's much more hated in that movie than Prince John is.
You're right. Well, if I go with Katrina, then it's just a stalemate. And if I go with Corey, I'm saying that Jar Jar Binks isn't that bad.
In comparison.
Yeah.
Who's-
Relative to
I
Prince
guess I'll say
John.
Jar Jar Binks isn't so bad. I really hated Prince John.
Did you hate him, or
that's
did you just feel that he was a baby?
preconceived notion? That's
Yeah. Well, we got to get through this anyway. So
Yeah,
we had plenty of other names in there that we were going to do, but we're obviously not going to get that far. I didn't realize we were going to talk as much about E3 as we did.
I just want to drop something. Did you read anything about Lucas's plan for episode?
I didn't click on the article, no.
It was a fucking like 2 cents excerpt that he wanted to focus on the microbacterial aspect of the universe or something like that, and focus on midichlorians as microscopic creatures and how they control.
Well, I'm glad that he
And
had
I'm
the
thinking
franchise bought out from him then.
Yeah, I was like, fuck that shit. Whatever we got's gonna be better than Bacteria Wars.
Did you ever remember the trailer that you couldn't think of in the other podcast?
I don't remember anything from any previous podcast.
Oh, you guys were talking about trailers, something dropping, and then you said, "Oh yeah, this
It was
came
Bumblebee.
out." Oh, okay.
So yes, I do. But no, we got to wrap up shop. Everybody that's been contacting me about the charity episode, I just want to say thank you. We've had a lot of interest shown. So I was going to say earlier what the stuff that's been added. One of our listeners, his name's Bob. He donated a Tim Allen signed Buzz Lightyear pop figure, and he also donated a Will Smith signed Deadshot magazine. So, I mean, he is an autograph hawk. He knows what he's doing. These things are actually signed by those people. I can tell you right now, and we'll put up pictures of this, the pen on the Buzz Lightyear one, the pen was a little bad, but Tim Allen did sign it. So those are two really cool prizes that we'll be able to give away for that charity episode. We're still ironing out the details on that, about when exactly it will be. It will be at the end of July. They'll probably come out the first week of August. We're trying to get some more people on. I still have some more irons in the fire, they would say, about different people donating some stuff. So if you want to be involved, you can feel free to contact me on Twitter. I'm Robert at 9to5nerds, or you can contact Katrina at 9to5nerds producer, and Corey at 9to5nerds co-host. Our email is, you want to say what the email address is, Katrina?
Yeah, there are names. So Katrina.9to5nerds@gmail, and it's Robert at
Be the same thing for me and same thing for Corey.
right.
But yeah, that'll be this week's episode. We have some plans for the next couple weeks. We're still trying to get my cousin in, but
He's busy.
Yeah, he's busy. He's hard to get in to get on this nerd stuff, but it'll be fun. We've got some people that are going to give us some Comic-Con stories coming up, and we've got some interviews we're working on too. So stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff coming up. Give us a review on iTunes. If you want to donate to the Patreon, it's the 9to5nerds, and we're going to get another bonus episode up there this month for them.
And let us know who would have won, in your guys' opinion. Tonight.
Yeah. Feel free to contact us on Twitter and say who you would have thought of one. We've got a bunch more in there that we can still use. And we've got another game that we played on here one time that was cut. Something happened to the episode. But it was a really fun game. And I don't know if we're going to play that soon or if we're going to wait for the charity episode. But that's going to be a blast. So just keep listening. We really appreciate it. And that's it for this week's episode. We're out.